Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Welcome to the Six Star Business Podcast. This is episode 22. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Pete Daly-Dixon.
Hello, and I'm Evelyn Clark, your other co-host. How are you, Pete?
Do you want the truth, or do you want me to just reply with like, fine?
Well, this is a no BS podcast, right? So the fact that you're coughing now muted hopefully gives our listeners the truth. But I'd love you to share how are you really? Because we care.
Physically, I've got a head full of cotton wool. My nose is streaming. I'm guessing people can hear in my voice that, there's something there. I have my youngest son. Thank you for giving me this cold. It's like, but once every 10 years, 8 to 10 years, I get wiped out. Pretty much, I have a very strong immune system. But this has been the once in a decade thing where I've just not been myself at all. But it's been great. We've recorded 2 episodes of the podcast already for future release, and just being with the kind of people that are on the podcast and having the kind of conversations we've had, I feel energized. I still suspect that I will be able to go back to sleep and sleep for the rest of the day after recording these intros. But I want to ask you what the highlight of your week has been so far, because I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be.
Well, actually, the highlight of my week was the fact that I got to dress up black tie for the first time in years. I can't remember the last time I wore a slinky black dress. Put on some diamonds and lippy and even did the eyeshadow and turned up to a party. Not just any party, it was the Six Star Business Community Black Tie Gala launch online on Zoom.
Black tie from the waist up. I thought that was so cool that right at the end we got everyone to take a selfie of what their whole outfit looked like. But everyone looked amazing. Everyone had made an effort. We raised nearly $800 for charity. It was a fundraiser, and we got everything going. We unveiled our new logo. We announced the first volume of the Six Star Business book, which we're going to co-create with everyone that's in the community. And we played Cards Against Humanity as well. How fun was that?
It was hilarious. And even the people that had never heard of it before had a great time. And we achieved our outcome, which was just to have fun. We did it online. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And talking about having fun, we definitely had fun on recording the episode that we've got coming up, episode 22, with Phil Pelucha and Jeremiah Sarkett.
Oh, this was just like awesome. Phil's in the UK, right? Liverpool. And Jeremiah's from Phoenix, Arizona in the US. And these guys just like raised the bar in terms of energy, didn't they? And you felt like you were almost in this room with just high energy, almost like sports people or something. It was just fun. It was fast. It was engaging. And then there was love. It was all of that. So for me, it was a
Six-Star podcast for sure. And we talk about gold nuggets on these episodes. And Jeremiah called it at one point. He said, "Phil, brother, you're pouring gold bars here." there is so, joking apart, there is so much gold in this. Phil is, let them speak for themselves. So we give you Phil Pelucha and Jeremiah Sarkett for episode 22 of the Six Star Business Podcast.
Enjoy. All right, here we are. Here we are indeed. Here we are, Pete. Welcome.
Yeah, just press the button. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Well, I'm really excited. I don't know about you guys. We've got two people. We've got 3. How many continents have we got represented today? 3. And I just want to welcome you to another episode of the Six Star Business Podcast. With us today, we have Jeremiah Sarkett and Phil Pelucha. G'day, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Did we pronounce your name right, Phil?
Dude, I've heard every variation going for that name, so don't worry. I've had Pelucha, I've had Peluca, I even had Mr. Poochie once, so I pretty much respond to everything.
Mr. Poochie. That's a cool one. It's good to be here, Pete, Phil, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You too, brother.
Thank you. So to get us started, I thought it would be nice for our listeners to learn a little bit more about you guys. They know who Pete and I are. So if you guys could just share with us and with everyone who you are, who you serve in the world, where you are in the world, and maybe something a little interesting about yourselves, just to kick us off.
Go on, Jeremiah. I'll bat that to you first, buddy, and then I'll pick up.
Nice one. See what you did there.
Yeah, have a hot potato.
I'll get you back, Phil. Awesome. I just recently got promoted at an amazing company. I work for Keep. We're a global small business powerhouse. We do CRM and sales marketing, SMA. So sales and marketing automation for entrepreneurs, and not just small businesses, but I think entrepreneurs is the key word there. They're unique. They're a gritty bunch. And I serve our amazing partners, you and Pete, our partners, and 900 plus of you folk across the globe. And it's just been a pleasure to learn and work and grow alongside you two. Specifically, you two are near and dear to me, but this group is. I'm starting to get to know the role. Is allowing me to dig into the community more and our new partners, and I'm getting on the calls and I'm doing stuff, and it's just been thrilling. It's been a little intense, but that's what leadership's all about.
Beautiful.
So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah.
I'm in Arizona. It's hot.
You're hot all the time. What's the weather like? There's no weather.
It's actually
just
been
hot.
pretty mild, though, to start summer. We're about 98 today, and I'll probably head off for the walk after the chit chat with you three, and it'll be tough because it's hot, and I'll try to run a little bit, and then I'll get weak in the knees and give up.
And when you're not serving small business owners, entrepreneurs, what occupies Jeremiah's time?
Well, I like to surf. I got my surf shirt on. I actually wore that for half today, so I love the water. They nicknamed me the shark, but I'm more of a sea turtle. Once you get to know me, I think you might agree to that. But I love the water. We love the ocean. We're trying to get there this summer for a family vacation again. We have an amazing son in our life, Victor. He's 4 years old. He's been just incredible for us. Pete, you've had the pleasure of hanging out with the Victor a couple times, and yeah, that dude's incredible. But college athlete, I played footy. I was a goalkeeper, crazy goalkeeper back there, and I like to get back into that. I'm working on it. I actually have an opportunity this week to meet with my high school alma mater, the women's varsity coach, to put on a goalkeeping camp. I want to give back to the old community and create the great goalkeeping culture that we once had. We were a factory. So that's a little bit more.
Awesome. Wow.
I love it. Yeah, so, okay, well, I'll pick up from there. So I'm Phil Pelucha. I'm the founder of Billionaires in Boxes. Billionaires in Boxes has two sides to our business. We are a entrepreneurial business broadcast network with 15 different satellite television networks globally. And we are also a growth strategist engine that specializes in power partnerships and strategic alliances. So big believer that business is a team sport. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So we specialize in really helping people to find that tribe that resonates with them, hook them up, put them in touch, and help them to dominate globally. Very similar to Jeremiah, actually. Ex-professional. I mean, I'm going to say soccer because some people will understand more what I'm saying, but that's the only time you'll hear me use that word. Ex-professional football player. I was at professional Premier League academies from the age of 5, played for Manchester City until I was 6, then moved over to Central Europe to play there before medically being retired with a shin bone that's the consistency of dried spaghetti in my early 20s, and then went into the world of business. And ever since, I've been making business into a team sport because I miss team sport. So it's working very nicely, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Just outside Liverpool in the UK.
Okay.
Home of the Beatles. Although they all left when they got rich.
It sounds like you got your hands full from a professional business perspective. Do you get any downtime at all?
Some, yeah. So I only work 4 days a week for a rule of mine. So I work 4 days a week and take the rest of the time off. I have a wife and 2 young children, 2 little girls, 5 and that's not their names, that's their ages. And yeah, I'm a fanatical Liverpool fan, to the point where it's unhealthy. It's and I'm not even joking. I mean, I can't tell you how much that club affects my mood. Like, people see like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde side by side with me. Like, if Liverpool win, I am like the happiest person in the world. If we lose, don't even talk to me for 24 hours. I don't care what it is you're talking to me about. It's not worth the hassle, I assure you.
Well, there's a grave danger, Ab, that with both Jeremiah and Phil's love of football, proper football, this could turn into a different kind of episode.
I kind of wanted
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you questions.
We should do that, and I'm glad we're referring to it as football. I mean, I work with a lot of Americans, and hearing them talk about football, it's like, oh, you mean the one with the hand and the egg? That one, yeah. Well, I'm talking about the one with a foot and a ball, right?
Well, I like how you've drawn the energy and the correlation to start, I guess, from team sport to business. I do it as much as I can.
For sure, dude. I mean, I look at. I think you and I will both know this, having grown up in team sports, is that it doesn't matter how good you are as an individual player. You're not going to win anything unless you're surrounded by a team of people who are equally as good at what they do as you are. And business for me is no different. You know, I've seen. I specialize in working with the investment community and high potential growth organizations, generating funds, etc. And I've seen a lot of very successful and very talented entrepreneurs fall by the wayside and go to waste simply because they were the best kept secret in their industry. Nobody knew who the hell they were. They could design something great and nobody knew about it. So when you compete as a team, it reduces the risk of that. I'm also, I've got stung with a couple of businesses that were domestic businesses during a couple of recessions. One of the things that I was determined never to let that happen again was to work with clients all over the world. Now, traditionally, if you wanted to open up an office in Singapore, for example, and start doing business there, you'd have to open a physical office. You'd have to hire somebody there who's got a phone book. You're going to have to, hope that you can make money inside 6 months and try and build relationships and all that kind of stuff. But that for me just seems like such an industrial revolution way of doing business. Like, we live in the digital era. Why can't I partner with somebody in Singapore who has 30 years experience in that region, wants to do more business with the UK and the US, and we can facilitate each other's growth? That to me just seems like the logical way of doing business. And we've been doing it that way for over a decade now, and teaching our clients to do the same thing. And it's genuinely a lot of fun.
You've just seen what you were saying there, Phil, and from the brief conversation that you and I had several weeks ago, just I'm sure you were checking me out, that I didn't have two heads as well as I was checking you, that you kind of really touching on some of the themes that have come out of this conversation around a 6-star business. And I'm really curious to ask both you, Phil, and Jeremiah, what was it about the concept of 6-star business specifically that grabbed your attention and held your interest long enough, I guess, to come on here and have a chat with Av and me for an hour? Do you want to speak to that?
Who wants to take it, dude? You want to take it? I'm going to bat it back over. You got to speak up if you don't want me to keep throwing you this hot potato. I'm an Englishman.
I'll knock those down, bro. I'll keep knocking those down for you.
I'll just keep opening the door. English gentleman.
Problem,
no, after you, please. After you.
After you, brother. Here we go. Wow, you did it again, huh? No, I absolutely adore these two, professionals and friends of mine, and the opportunity to come on and share in any type of global type of medium that Pete's produced and Aveline's gotten on board and started teaching and engaging. Like, that team is important to me. So doing that made sense. And then as I learned a little bit more about the podcast and what's going on, there's stuff that I can learn from, obviously, and then a lot that I feel that I can contribute to this community and help it grow. So that was my interest.
When you first heard that phrase from Av when she chatted to you about it, 6-star business, what came to mind? Paint a picture for us.
I liked the way that she had branded it more than any type of like huge, vision. I was more into how it felt off the tongue, how, others could receive that quickly, right? And understand just off the coin what was here, right? If you will. So that's what I was more looking at it from a business sense, Pete, more of a critique versus more of a, probably somebody that was going to be more of a consumer, right? I was walking in the other shoe. I could come back to you though as I take a little bit more time and answer that question.
Yeah,
well, I like the question. I like the answer about the branding. I mean, so I'll tell you exactly what came to mind for me. But I mean, just to touch on Jeremiah's branding point, like, I like brands that kind of get you to think and you can have your own interpretation of that. I mean, I mean, for God's sake, I run a business called Billionaires in Boxers. I mean, that pretty much kind of sums up how I feel about branding. I mean, Billionaires in Boxers was a joke, you know, and I don't mean the business. I mean the name. You know, we got picked up for our first television series and we needed a name, and after brainstorming for literally weeks and every suggestion I made, they absolutely hated. And I don't mean like they were like, oh no, maybe not, we can work on that one. I mean, I was getting close to being banned from giving any more suggestions. So pardon the language, I started taking the piss a little bit. And I was like, how about Billionaires in Boxers, because I grow global empires from home and rarely put on pants. And it was like, that's brilliant, we're going to use that. And I was like, I was joking, dude. And he was like, no, we're going to use it. And after a very successful first season, people knew me as the Billionaires in Boxers guy before they knew my name. So we did a total rebrand of both the broadcast business and the coaching and growth strategy business, and we've been having a lot of fun with it ever since. But I imagine you'll find the same with, you know, with Six Star Business, is that you will get different interpretations from different people as to what they feel that brand means to them. And it's one of the things I love the most about BIB is that everybody has a slightly different answer. So for me, you know, I get to work with a lot of 5-star businesses, but for me, what separates a 5-star business from a 6-star business is the 6-star business is the person that's leading the pack, right? They're the person that's going on the path that's least known. They're creating their own path. They're the thought leader. They're the industry leader. They're the person raising the bar, because you can be a 5-star business and not be an industry leader, because if 40% of your industry are 5-star businesses, it doesn't mean you're the leader, right? The leader is going to be that 1 or 2 6-star businesses that say, okay, we're becoming complacent as an industry here. Let's raise the bar one more time, and this is where we get to. What I find fascinating about that is that there are lots of people who, in fact, it probably breaks into 3. There are lots of people who say they want to do that, and they really don't. They don't want to be the person who puts their head above the pulpit and says, hey, have a shot. Like, people say they want to be the industry leader, but actually you take a lot of crap when you're the industry leader as well, because there are people who would rather go out of their way to try and prove you wrong than do their own thing. Then there's the people who, you know, can't help it. Like, they're going to be the 6-star businesses whether they make a conscious decision to or not, because it's in their DNA, it's in their entrepreneurial makeup. I mean, I liken these people to, they're the entrepreneurs that when they go bankrupt and when they go bust, they seem to have another really successful business 5 minutes later, and you're like, how the hell did he do that? And they just seem to bounce straight back. And then I think you've got the people who would be absolutely terrified by the concept of a 6-star business. It's like, I'm okay playing small. Like, I don't want a 5-star business. I'm okay with a 3 or 4-star business. You know, I'm somewhere in the middle. It's safe. I'm in the middle lane. No one's shouting at me. I'm doing my thing. But, you know, from my perspective, I mean, I would like to think I'm one of those people who, you know, I can't help it. Like, that's what I'm going to want to do. Like, if I'm going to be in an industry, I'm going to want to change what's going on. I'm going to want to improve it. I'm going to want to make mistakes, learn, and everything else. And I surround myself with people who are high performers and high achievers who want to do the same thing. Like, I absolutely detest having to hold someone's hand and lead them. Like, I always say, I don't sell, I introduce, and I don't coach. I sort of advise. I give, here's the roadmap, go and do it. If you can't be asked doing the work, then more fool you, right? You're paying me for no reason. Well done. But genuinely, like, I'd say 9 times out of 10, most of the people that I get to work with would really resonate with that 6-star business mentality that, okay, you know, we won the Premier League, we won the Champions League, both in the same season. What's next? Like, how do we how do we win 3 next season? Can we win 4 trophies next season? Can we reach that 100-point mark? You know, they're constantly raising the bar even when they're at the top of their game.
Brilliant. I got a question that's something that you, just in what you just said, Phil. Is 6-star necessarily bigger?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Not for me. It's more quality over quantity, right? So I have, in fact, we just started recording a new podcast series called Prestige and Profits, and it's where we have conversations with luxury brands and super automotive brands, like high-end fashion brands, and we have that conversation between where's the balance between prestige and profit, and which one would you rather have? And it's a really interesting conversation to ask people who own like private clubs and, you know, yachting conventions and Formula One this and all this kind of stuff, and say, then what's more important to you, the prestige or the profit? Because I take it back to the top Hollywood agent, the highest paid Hollywood agent doesn't have 500 clients. They have 5. And they have 5 that they work very closely with. And when they fire their customer, not the other way around, important distinction, there is a queue of high-powered A-list celebrities around the block wanting to work with that particular agent. They becoming a 6-star Hollywood agent, to use this analogy, would not be them taking on another 10, 15, 20, 100 clients. It would be them upping the service that they offer to those 5 that they work with.
Jeremiah, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, you've worked with a lot of businesses.
Yeah, you guys hammered it, filled it. I mean, it's the quality of service and care that's provided at that level versus the quantity, I would say. I mean, you can have the quantity if your processes are there and you're bringing it at a high level to every single one of those customers that you're serving. But yeah, I would imagine that a 6-star business, isn't needing to go get a bunch of new customers all the time. Yeah, they're doing well with what they have and know how to keep a loyal customer engaged. Customer lifetime value, I would also imagine, would be through the roof when you look at a 6-star organization.
Mm.
It's also retaining the customers, isn't it? Sorry to interrupt, Pete, but it's it's the lifetime of the customer. I mean, so many people, you see people in this day and age, and they're all talking about lead generation, attract new customers, organic versus paid. And it's like, well, what happened to increasing the tenure and the life cycle of a potential customer? What happened to, being oversubscribed for your service because you have more people that want you than you have supply for? Like, that's a powerful place to aim to be in business. And speaking from experience, I mean, there are some problems that come with that too. I mean, you might need to bleep this out because I tend to swear when I get excited. Like,
right.
I managed to piss a lot of people off about 12 months ago because we did a big push for new clients and we ended up oversubscribed very quickly. And then I'd have clients on the phone that go, Phil, I love this. I want to do it. And I'd go, great. Let me call you in 6 months when we've got an opening for you. And he'd be like, dude, you got me all excited about something and then disappeared off for 6 months. So there's a challenge that comes with being oversubscribed as well. You got to get that balance right. But for me, I think that should be, if you're a sort of high ticket business, but actually I think it should be the same for any business. You should aim to be oversubscribed. Your aim should not be to be winning new customers. It should be, how many customers can I have that we get a good profit but can deliver a 6-star service? And then what's the barrier to that? And then where are we capping that? And let's start building up that oversubscribe list, because if that's your aspiration to do that in your business, like, you will never go far wrong.
I can see you smiling there as well, and I think I know why. We're launching a community on the back of, alongside, because of a community is being drawn out of us as a result of this podcast called the 6-Star Business Community, and we are kind of intuitively or accidentally or whatever, we are doing exactly that, Phil. So there'll be a wait list where people can register their interest, and as part of that registering their interest, they have to listen to a particular episode of the podcast and tell us what their takeaway was from it. And then the opportunity to actually get going in the community will be open for 3 days, just in the middle of June. And from the conversations that we're having with people around the podcast, my gut feel is that there will be more people on the waiting list than there will be spaces in the community, because like you say, we want to make sure that everyone that comes into the community has a fucking amazing 6-star experience, and we can't do that if we've got 250 people coming in right off the bat. So
it's also the whole fear of missing out thing, right? That's powerful when it comes to marketing. It's like, look, we've got this 6-star community. We're going to be giving you a 6-star service and helping you to achieve 6 stars in your business, and you can't come. It's like, what? Like, I want to come. It's like, what do you mean go? It's like, no, you can't come. There's a waiting list. Like, sign up, and in fact, just because you're on the waiting list doesn't mean you get in. The quality of your answers that you give with the assignment of listen to the podcast, say what it means to you, give a unique intake on it, and we're going to assess your answers. It's one of the things that I love about doing business at this level, and I'll share a little bit of a secret with you that, well, maybe not a secret, but more of a bit of an insight in terms of how we do business, and it's a lot of fun doing it this way, and it sounds like you're tapping into something very similar, which is when we don't want to give the same competitive advantage to everybody in an industry, because that would be completely pointless. What's the point in moving everybody 10 steps further forward? Because then nobody's winning. You've all just moved forward, right? So I want to work with, 2-3 businesses in any given sector, in any given location. That's it. End of story. So once we win one, which is usually via the referral network or our non-competitive partners that we call our NCPs, strategic alliances, power partners, whatever you want to refer to them as. They give us a client, and then we say, okay, so we're now going to go and reach out to their competitors in the region. So we'll make a list of 10 of their competitors, and we'll get in contact with them, and we'll say, hey, listen, we're working with one of your competitors in the region. We're looking for maybe 1 or 2 more additional partners. Why should it be you? And it completely flips the sales cycle on its head. Because instead of coming on the phone and being like, so tell me what you do, Phil, impress me. It's like, Phil, let me tell you why it should be us and why it shouldn't be those guys. And it's a completely different sales process. And what is a nice byproduct of that conversation is you end up with them saying things like, I like you, we should do business together. So it's not you trying to second guess, like get your crystal ball out and go, ooh, I think out of all of the services we do, they'd want this one. Like, no, what a crappy way of doing sales, right? Terrible way of doing marketing as well. Let them tell you, well, I want to do business together. Great, well, let me tell you what we do. You tell me what resonates the most with you at the minute and which is going to solve the biggest problem for you. And they'll prescribe it to themselves. And more than that, they give you invaluable market research that is them saying to you, well, actually, our industry is currently going through these regulation changes. So this particular part here is going to be so helpful for me because of X. So the next conversation you have with somebody in that space, you say, listen, one of the things that we're working on is there's these regulation changes going on, so we're plugging people into X to solve that problem. Would that solve a problem for you too? And they're like, oh, dude, you know my industry so well. It's like you live in my head. It's like, no, I just listen and repeat. It's not rocket science. My attitude has always been, if you want to know what's going on in the minds of your customers, ask them.
Jeremiah, you're director of partner sales at, is it director of partner sales or director of sales?
Yeah, partner sales, the channel. The
director of partner sales, partner channel at Keep. And, you've been living and breathing sales for a long time. How does what Phil, I'll edit that.
I liked it, Pete, because it takes away the minutia of what really old school sales is. Hey, how are you doing? How's the weather? Oh, no one wants that bullshit anymore. They just want to get to the real, and they have a pain, right? But they're coming out and saying, hey, hold on, we understand what you do, right? And we want to be a part of your solution. Here's what our challenge is. And then like Phil was role playing that through a little bit on the top of the funnel, experience. It's easy to have conversations that way. It's easy to do marketing that way too. Mm-hmm. And I like how you set up the what'd you call them, Phil?
Non-competitive partners, NCPs. Yeah. So it's who works with the audience and customers that you want to work with, but doesn't do exactly what you do. Partner with those people together, make introductions for each other. Often it's something as simple as, you give me 10%, I'll give you 10% for any referrals. Let's refer each other's businesses in. And actually, more importantly than helping with kind of sales, and which is obviously important, and lead generation and all that kind of stuff, it actually delivers a better quality of service to the end user as well. Because instead of being a service provider that just does this bit, you can now say, well, listen, I actually partner with these guys and these guys. And typically, a great way of utilizing our services is, if you're going to work with me to do this, you should meet them for this bit, them for this bit. We're already used to working together. So just give us the go-ahead. We'll plug in and we'll take care of this bit for you. And I've had so many clients of ours and our partners, customers, and our customers that say, oh, thank God for that. Like, I don't have to go away and figure out how all these moving pieces come together now. You guys know how to do it. You're just going to work seamlessly together. You know how it happens. Because let's be honest, most business owners just want the results. They don't really care how and why it works. They just want it to work. And if they know that there's a proven track record between that relationship and that team, it's turning up to a sports club, getting signed as a striker and saying, listen, I want you to sign that winger because, he puts 5-6 balls a game on top of my head and I'll score 2 or 3 of those goals. But if you don't bring me him, I can't guarantee you how many goals I'm going to score because I don't know what kind of delivery I'm going to get. If you're a coach and you got the money to spend, it's like, that's a no-brainer. I'm buying myself 20 goals, 30 goals a season. Right, fine, I'll just buy the guy. And it's the same in business. If you can say, look, what I do is really good, but if you combine me with him, oh my days, what a game changer for your business. let me give you some examples of how that works at the moment. Like, why would you not do that?
It's coming back to where we started right at the beginning, with it being a team sport, and I love the way that you brought in that kind of striker winger thing in that business context. It's also struck me what you were talking, Phil, about quality over quantity. You know, we've been going for half an hour, and the quality of this conversation and they're not nuggets, they're fucking gold bars.
That last one was. I was going to say
value.
that, but Kevin adding more gold he was filling more gold into the bar, so I just let it go.
Yeah.
But that one was, folks. So grab that again.
Yeah. So we could call it a wrap, and it would still be a 6-star episode. But we're not going to, because I'm sure there's more gold to be.
I'm sure.
So what are you thinking? What are you thinking, Av?
I've been reflecting on Derek Sivers' book. Now, Derek Sivers, of course, was the guy that ran CD Baby and sold it after 10 years. And he had a really simple philosophy. He didn't want to grow a big business. He just wanted to serve the musicians. And he said, if you want to do well in business, he said, you don't need any money to start. You just need someone to serve. So his philosophy was, you go and ask them what they need. And that's exactly how he started his business. Musicians needed a way to sell their music CDs. So he started it like that. And then he shifted it based on what they needed. So he wasn't focused on the profits. He wasn't focused on the numbers. He was focused on the service, and he would ask them. And then at one point it shifted because they needed a way that someone asked him, well, can you let me know when a new release is coming out? And he was like, really? Why did you ask that? And it was like, oh, sorry, I thought you were a store, an online store. And then he went, oh, I need to get more people. And you know what I mean? So then he'd go and ask, what else do you want? And then he'd just go and serve that. And when he was offered investment funding in that stage where there was the dot-com boom and everyone was, and he said his friends were rolling in all the cash and living the high life because they'd been invested and funded, he refused the funding. And they said, well, why don't you want us to throw all this money at you? He said, because I don't want a big business. I actually want a small business. And even though he sold it for a lot of money, to him, he kept it super simple. He said, why do I need all of their trappings? I don't. That's not going to serve my customers. So that he had a complete, simple laser focus of serving the customer and asking them what they want, which is what you said earlier on.
There's 2 points to touch on there from what you've just said. And the first thing I'd say is, a lot of entrepreneurs that you meet will constantly be trying to add services to their business and trying to become like the Walmart, right? They want to be Amazon. They want to be that one-stop shop. And actually, I think they lose sight of the fact that there's something incredibly powerful in I stay in my lane. This is my bit. I'm the best at it, and I'm going to continue to improve my skill. And if you want anything outside of that, I can make some recommendations for you, but I don't do that. I do this bit. It's whatever happens to that saying, jack of all trades, master of none, right? Become the master at what you do. And the second thing I'd say is that I think many of the listeners would be incredibly surprised at the answers they get. I know I am almost every single time I ask the question of my customers, where I say, listen, what is it that you get the most out of us working together? And, it's great, but it's frustrating because they'll tell you and you'll be like, but that's like 20% of what I do. That means like 80% of the time you don't really give a shit. Like maybe I should just focus my time on that 20%. But it's a great way of growing your business. I mean, any of my customers listening to this will know I ask this at the end of every single strategy session, whether it's a group session or whether it's a one-on-one session. What was the golden nugget from today? What was the biggest aha moment for you? And the reason I do that is for a few reasons. Number one, I want to check they were listening, right? Number two, I find it fascinating to say, well, actually it was this. And okay, that's really cool. And the reason it's fascinating for me is that might be something that I learned 10 years ago. That's not exciting to me anymore. The shininess has gone off that thing. But to them, this is brand new information that's a game changer. The final reason that I like to do that is it makes sales, marketing, and structuring your things like strategy sessions and courses, and even podcast interviews, so much easier, because having had that feedback consistently from your customers, it's like, okay, there's a theme here. They all seem to say the same 3 or 4 things. So I should really talk about those 3 or 4 things more often, because that's the biggest aha moment for people. And if you're genuinely in a business, not just to make money, but to serve people, and don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with money. You know, we have ignore our broadcasting business because that's on its own, but our growth strategy business is 6 figures, well on target to achieve 7 figures in the next 12 months. We don't spend a single cent on paid advertising. I love that. I love money. There's nothing wrong with money. However, what I'm more proud of is our 100% success rate over the past 6 years. That's what I'm more proud of, and that's why we make the money. That's why people refer us. It's why people come back. So if you focus on the money, you'll always fall flat on your face. But if you focus on delivering the best possible service to your audience, to your customers, the money will come as a byproduct, as will the referrals and the business growth.
And there's possibly I'm putting myself in the shoes of a listener and thinking that on the one hand, what you just talked about, Phil, is almost liberating to an extent. It's like, okay, so I don't need to keep pushing for more clients. Earlier, you talked about focusing on retention. That's something that's come up on previous conversations on episodes. So there's a sense of liberation, of not having to do more services, get more clients. But the flip side of that is, well, what if it doesn't work? What if stripping away and focusing down isn't enough, and I need more clients and more services to make it up? Is that?
Yeah, it's a very fair point. And there's 2 things, again, I'd respond to that. So the first thing would be, if it's not worked for you, then one of 2 things is happening here. You either haven't found your right niche, or you're not as good as you think you are. And that might be a painful thing for somebody to accept, right? But if you are offering these 2 services and people don't want those 2 services, it's because they're not as good as you think they are. They're not adding as much value, or you're aiming them at the wrong people, right? But let's just say, you know, you might have entered a market too early. I mean, we've all seen that happen. Like, it's not that the product sucks or the service stinks. It's actually really good. It's just too early. Well, if you're still dedicating that time and effort to serving your clients, they're going to tell you that. And because you're investing time and effort into building that relationship with them, they're going to say to you, dude, I think this is a bit early. What I really need right now is this part of this service to help me get to that point. And that now makes sense, because it's like, okay, I have this here. This is built ready, but it's 3 years too early. I need a stage before that. So I'm going to ask my customers, what is that stage that would help you better utilize this service, this product, this technology, whatever it's going to be, and let them tell you, rather than, I mean, how many times have we seen this? I mean, I can think of countless times I've sat in a boardroom and people go, so how do we reach more of our customers? And it's like, the only people not represented in this room is the bloody customer. I mean, surely the idea would be to ask them how they want to be communicated with, right? Maybe we should add more services and products. What could we add? It's like, don't guess and make it up. You know, go and talk to your customers, see what it is that they need. But that level of market research, that level of honesty, and let me use the word vulnerability from your customers as well, to be able to say to you, actually, it's this bit that I really need. That comes with trust and respect and effort and work. You don't get that straight off the bat. You don't get that in a cold call. So to answer your point, if you do narrow it down and you do work on that, will it necessarily work first time? No, but it will provide you with the relationships to give you the answers as to how exactly you are going to design that blueprint that will work.
So once again, just focus on the relationship.
Massively. Everything comes people by people. Everything comes down to that relationship. I mean, look, let's use this analogy, and I like to use this a lot with my customers as well when they're saying, well, what if people don't like me? It's like, well, that's a good thing, because you don't want everybody to like you. You want to repeat, you know, your vibe attracts your tribe. You want to work with the people that resonate with you and you resonate with them. But how the hell are you ever going to identify those people if you're scared to put your vibe out there? So I take it back to, think back to your high school class, right? We can all think back to high school. What percentage of your class were assholes, right? I'm going to guess about 50%, right? It's about the same in the world. So about 50% of the world are assholes, right? And if you take that into consideration, do you want to work with those assholes? No, of course you don't. So there's already 50% of the population gone. So, and we've all worked with customers we really wish we hadn't bothered, right? So how do you identify who you should and shouldn't be working with? You see who you resonate with, you trust your intuition, you trust your gut instinct. And the only way to do that is to build a relationship, not a ClickFunnels thing, click here, buy my stuff, and the first time I get to know you is after you've already paid me for a service and you've turned up based off my copyright? Hell no. Stick a qualification stage in there to see whether you resonate with this person, because if you don't, again, this is where NCPs come in useful. I'm going to know someone I can introduce you to who can help you, but it's not going to be me. Right? Mm-hmm. I only want to work. I mean, somebody says to me about grading people, and it sounds awful, but you grade people out of 5. And some people will be okay working with 3s and 4s, but you've got to expect the 3 and 4 frequency from the 3 and 4 people. You've got to decide for you where you set that bar. Are you a 4, a 4.5, a 5 out of 5 kind of person? Because you have to be brave enough to be able to say no to those people, even though they might be there with cash in their hand saying, please, Pete, take my money. You have to be strong enough to say, I'm really sorry, my bar is set here. Let me make some introductions for you to somebody that can help you, but it's not going to be me.
Phil's pouring gold again in the melt. He's in the crucible. He's pouring gold, folks.
Well, that's a 6-star approach, right, Jeremiah? Isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, LCM is 6-star in a lot of ways. So this plays into...
For our listeners, can you say what LCM is?
Yes, excuse me. Lifecycle marketing, and Av and Pete and I are really used to that because that's a methodology that one of the co-founders at Keep really put together and harnessed and brought out and taught and educated on. But it's getting more results from what you already have. It's stopped being scarce and wanting more leads. It's like, hold on, what's working well in your business? Where's the low-hanging fruit? You have customers. Let's connect with them, find out what's working and what's not, what they want more of from you, right? And then when you're appropriate, we can get you more leads. But your business and your processes aren't. So I love it. It's right up the LCM alley, and Phil's in the melt, just crushing.
It all sounds, if not obvious, then when you hear you talking, it's just like, yes, that makes total sense. So why do more business owners not do it when the results speak for themselves?
Okay, I'll tell you exactly why, and now I'm going to preach. Because our education system worldwide sucks, right? It teaches you that you need to be an A-grade student across the board. Who the hell is an A-grade generalist, right? So it teaches you in business that you have to be all things to all people and be equally as good at them and wear loads of hats. And that's how you achieve burnout as an entrepreneur. It's the ability to, I mean, can you imagine how different school would have been if you just said, listen, me and my 4 friends are going to share an end of school report. I'm going to take sports and music because they're my 2. He's going to take drama and writing because that's his. This dude's going to take maths and science, and this one's going to take RE and cooking. And we're going to get an A-star across the board, so we're going to share a report. That's how business is done. That's not how the education system molds you. So most people are thoroughly unprepared to be a business owner and be an entrepreneur, and they try and, what used to get me praise as a child? Well, being good at all things to all people. So that's what I'm going to try and do for my customers. And the one of the things I found in business over the years, I mean, I'm blessed that I have a number of billionaire mentors, and the more I learn about them, the more I realize it is so simplistic. Like, the right answer is usually the most simple one, and it's usually the one that people don't try because they go, it can't be that easy. I have to overcomplicate it. It can't be as easy as let me just ask 5 people for referrals and I'll get some leads. Surely I have to design a click funnel and some Facebook ads with a retargeting cookie, and it's like, no, bullshit. Like, stop overcomplicating it. You're a busy idiot. That's what it is. You think you're busy. You think you're doing things that are helpful for your business, and they're just not. And the analogy I like to use for this, an example I like to use for this, because I actually had a customer that came to me and said, I've just spent $10,000 on a course where the guy taught us how to create an email marketing list of 100 to 150,000 of our ideal customers for us to market to. So I said, okay, point number 1, email marketing sucks because every single year you get less and less return on the open rate, the click rate, the people taking action. So, you're going to need 100,000 of them just to stand any chance of doing some business. How long is it going to take you to create an email database of 100,000 of your ideal customers? And he's like, well, he told me to do a free ebook and give it away on a Facebook ad, and I'm ready for pulling my hair out at this point. And I'm like, okay, so how long is it going to take you to write the book? And we went through the whole thing. He's like, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, how long is it going to take to get it on Amazon? Maybe a week. Okay, so now we're at a month already. How much is it going to cost you in Facebook ads? Well, you know, maybe if I'm lucky, maybe $3,000 to $5,000, right? So you're going to spend $5,000 and a month. How long is it going to take you to get the leads? So we basically established maybe $5,000 and 3 months if they're lucky, right? I know a guy who's got an email database of 150,000 of your ideal customers right now. Let me make an introduction to them. You can have them inside the hour. Like, and it's not going to cost you $5,000. I mean, you could take him out for a really nice lunch for $500. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel all the time. And this is what happens is, you know, there are these fake sheikhs and gurus out there that have just picked up from the education system saying, don't worry, the reason you haven't found the answer yet is because you haven't bought my course. Come and spend $15,000 with me and I'll teach you all this really complicated process that I use. No, nonsense. The answer is the most beautiful things in this world are the things that are simple. They're the classics, you know. It's like I'll use a Gordon Ramsay thing. Don't ever put chili sauce on a filet mignon, because filet mignon is the most beautiful piece of meat you can possibly imagine. Let that thing taste of what it's supposed to taste of. It's the same in your business, right? Stop trying to overcomplicate things. I mean, well, let's go back to the sports analogy. That winger crosses the ball into the box. Are you just going to side foot it into the net and score the goal and celebrate? Or are you going to overthink it, going, well, there's loads of fans here, so maybe I need to overhead it or I need to Rabona it. And then you miss and you look like an absolute arse and the entire stadium's shouting at you going, why didn't you just tap it in? That's how I feel about business. I look at people, it's like, why didn't you just tap it in? Like, the opportunity was right there. Score the goal and then celebrate. Don't overcomplicate it all the time. It drives me round the bend, but I genuinely blame the education system. I think it's designed to create workers for the Industrial Revolution. We don't live in the Industrial Revolution anymore, and it certainly isn't designed to build entrepreneurs.
So what can we do about that?
Leave school? No, seriously, like, I'm not kidding. Like, the first time I actually started to learn something was when I went to university, because they say, I don't care whether you learn or not, I'm going to come in and teach you, and then you're going to go away, and we're going to teach you to be critical thinkers and be able to hold opposing opinions and be able to discuss the pros and cons of each. Whereas, you know, primary school, elementary school, college, that's all designed around, repeat after me. This is the date that this will happen. This is the date that this happened. This is how you're supposed to do something. No, nonsense. Like, whatever happened to finding your own way and being creative? They spend 10, 15 years beating the creativity out of you. So I would like to see more entrepreneur schools. And I mean, like, for kids from the age of like 10, 11 up to the age of 18, where it teaches you things like financing and partnerships and network and globalization and taxes. I mean, like, somebody teaching me how to do tax in my business would have been more helpful than Pythagoras' theorem. You know, it's like, I was like, what color does this little stick burn at in the Bunsen burner? I don't know. I don't have a Bunsen burner. What I do have is a tax man shouting at me for money. Like, that would have been more helpful.
This is really topical for me, Phil, because my wife and I have been self-employed business owners for, you know, well, I started my first business in 98. Mm-hmm. And I have similar views to you about the education system. They're not so clearly articulated, so I'm just going to rip off and duplicate what you just said. But our youngest, we think, I mean, he's hugely creative. He wants to be a game designer. He's a gamer. He's a musician. Just takes to anything. This is Isaac Jeremiah. And we want to encourage him, you know, with the options that are available now from a point of view of educating at home. Mm-hmm. It's not like you don't go to school, you stay at home and you get tutors in and you learn the same stuff that you learn at school. Yeah. We've realized that when you decide to educate a child at home, certainly in the UK anyway, there's no requirement to follow the national curriculum. They don't have to go to do any of the exams. That he would be able to learn about and go deep into those 1, 2, 3 things that really switch him on.
Yeah, so with you.
But the thing that I think is blocking is a social aspect. The reason that he suffers getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and getting dressed and getting on the bus is because of the friends at school.
So I've actually got a bit of an idea and an insight on this, because both of my children are homeschooled and we will never send them to the education system. I mean, we actually had to tell them why we didn't want to register them for the school system, and I said, because you'll ruin my incredibly creative children. was my response. I just refused, and that was the end of it. And you're absolutely right. But we have cherry-picked aspects that we like of the UK curriculum because we do have a good education system, but we picked the things that we liked and were relevant for them. But then we added in lots of other things. So one of my children, my youngest in particular, is very good at languages and she's very good at sport. They're her two things. She loves being active. She's got tons of energy. She's basically a miniature version of me, which is why I'm so glad I haven't put her in school, because I know what a hard time I had. I was the round peg in the square hole. I spent most of my, I got kicked out of school at 14, but I spent sort of the age of 12 to 14 spending most of the lessons stood in a corridor having been kicked out of class. Like, what was the point? Like, I'm not learning anything anyway. What am I learning? To try and hide from the senior head when they walk past the thing? Like, it's pointless. I can play hide and seek at home. I don't need to play it at school. My eldest is very creative when it comes to art. But she's also very sensitive, like the complete opposite of the younger one. Like if you say the wrong thing to her, she gets upset. So criticism in school and the way that's dealt with, that red pen with the X on it, that would have been enough to set her off in tears. So they're both very different, but it means that we've been able to tailor make an education system for them. Now, COVID's been slightly difficult because obviously they can't socialize anyway, but the younger one, it's gymnastics and sports clubs, and 2 or 3 times a week she sees the same friends, but not just in school, actually in a social setting. I mean, school isn't really a place to socialize, is it? You get in trouble for talking in class and things. You get to see them at break times and lunch times, but with this being an after-school activity, it's designed to be social, right? So that she's there with like-minded people and like-minded friends. My youngest likes to go to dance classes. My oldest likes to go to dance classes. She likes the whole ballet stuff. She meets softly spoken friends. She's gone and done some art workshops. So we take care of that social aspect by introducing after sports clubs. But the other thing it's allowed us to do is we're a very nomadic family. I mean, again, COVID screwed this up, but we're a very nomadic family. I mean, we probably live in 3 or 4 countries a year, every year on a normal, definitely UK and South Africa, because my wife is South African, so we spend a lot of time in South Africa with our family down there. I have a business registered in Panama. Leave me alone, HMRC. I have a business registered in Panama, and then we like to go to either Egypt or Turkey or wherever, right? And they get to not only socialize with other children their own age, they get to socialize with children from different cultures, different religions, different skin colors, different races, different backgrounds. And that, for me, is helping them to become much better, well-rounded individuals than if they were just, in a 90% white class with other white Catholic Christian Scouse kids who all grew up in this region. I mean, there's only... Traveling broadens the mind, and I found that out as an adult. So I love the fact that I'm able to introduce that to my children at such a young age. Like, they don't understand nationalities. They see one race. They see the human race because that's what they've grown up with. And I absolutely adore that.
Ivan, Jeremiah, you've both got kids. What's your view on where this conversation has gone?
I was homeschooled for half of my adolescence, if you will. And I was craving the social and the sport. I was a good athlete. I couldn't get it at home. So I needed to go to school. And I thought about what Phil was saying, and Eric and I thought about that for Victor. And I don't know what we actually will end up doing, if it's going to be, a mix of homeschooling and then general schooling, but more of a private school that does it the way that we would want. Obviously, you'll pay for that, but we have that opportunity here in the States. There's a lot more of the charter private schools that are moving away from the standard curriculum, the testing, and just, the beating up of the creativity. I experienced it a bit, Phil. I was pretty creative and I got crushed. Yeah, so I thought that was, it was sharp, and it gave me some insight as, I'm a young, old parent. So that was tremendous, but I think that the homeschooling offers a lot. It offers a lot of opportunity, and gosh, the system's not going to change.
No. So,
there's something to be said for that.
Totally agree. I'm conscious of the time. I just wanted to sort of, in Pete's words, bring this in for a landing, and just wanted to wrap up with a comment, I guess, or a reflection on where this conversation has gone to, which is so topical. And I know we could keep talking about this for another hour. It feels like, the future. If I think about the purpose that Pete and I have come up with, say, just for the Six Star Business community, it's to lift business to create a better future. And what we've just talked about is exactly that, but it starts with also our children and
Absolutely.
creating the right container for them to create a better future.
Couldn't agree more.
So
Let's change the fucking world, guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Well, I mean, just real quick too, Phil got really deep on the educational system, but I think people like us have the ability to break that down. The entrepreneurial has the ability to break down, to break the cycle, right? I always said it to the APAC group, Pete. I always said that you're reshaping communities, right? So us going out and teaching entrepreneurs how to do this the right way and how to grind and really do the real hustle, I like to call it. That's how we adjust it. The system won't allow us to, but the individuals have the power.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
You teachers do. Yeah, you teachers do. Amazing.
beautiful way to end. Phil, have you got any last comments?
No, I mean, other than I've really enjoyed being here. Thank you. I mean, we could have gone full Joe Rogan on this, couldn't we? Like
Yeah.
3-4 hours later, we're putting the world to rights. Maybe we should do that another time. But no, I've really enjoyed it. But I agree, it's power to the people, right? I mean, it's without trying to pitch, it's the reason that we started our broadcast network. So the broadcast network is entirely across the emerging markets. And without trying to sound like Robin Hood, the reason I do that is that I feel like the billions of people across the emerging markets are almost like forgotten people. Like, as far as the UK and the US is concerned, we are the center of the universe. But we're less than 5% of the population, you know? It's like, so for me, it's all about emerging market wealth creation, because I'm a rebellious spirit at heart. So there's an element of me that thinks if you can empower people so that they have money and they have success and they have joy and they have wealth, and by wealth, I don't just mean financial wealth, I mean wealth in every aspect of their life, and they don't like a political decision, it's no longer about let's go on a march in the streets that they pay no attention of. It's government, you've got until Monday to fix this, or we're all taking our cash out and putting it into cryptocurrency. Like, now you have the power to have some serious impact and change. But to do that, you have to first create wealth for the masses and take it away from, not take it away, but distribute it better, so that not only 3% of the population have like 97% of the money. This needs to be more evenly spread so that democracy can really stand. Because at the minute, democracy is ran by the people who have the money. So let's fix that. Let's put the money back into the pockets of the people, and then from there we can build a better community that suits us all better rather than suiting the elite.
Well, and if you buy cryptocurrency, please just hold. You'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Hold it. Shit. Stop checking the my advice
That's
would
right.
be buy it and stop checking the app.
Yeah,
And then pull the app off. Your phone.
Exactly.
right.
Well, listen, Jeremiah, Phil, before we change gears and do start going for hour 2, we need to be mindful that for Phil and I, it's just gone 11 o'clock at night. So it's been an absolute blast, this conversation. Jeremiah, appreciate you. Phil, appreciate you, man. Looking forward to getting to know you more over the coming weeks and months.
Likewise.
And duration of time. And that's a wrap, as they say.
That's a wrap. Thank you.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Well, I feel like we can change the world.
When you, I'm speechless, really, because can't say because I'm speechless. Just the sense that you and I have accidentally stumbled across something, that the picture I have in my mind is that we're walking down the street and I tripped over something and looked down and picked it up. And it's this thing, 6-Star Business. And I'm just awestruck. I'm awestruck at that conversation that we just had. And I think on the last episode we talked about listening to the 6-Star Business podcast with a notepad. And how many gold bars were laid out in that episode?
I can't count them actually, and it was another situation where I'm so grateful that we've been given the opportunity to, we've stumbled across this podcast, right? We get to have these conversations, and it also enables us to learn and grow. There's so many things in these conversations for me personally, as well as I'm sure for dear listener and for you, Pete. And I just want to go back and relish it because there's just so many things in there. And I've got, ideas zapping away as well, which I can't wait to talk to you about. Yeah, hugely grateful, humbled, and what a way to start my day. It's
yeah. I mean, who would have thought that a conversation, at one level, you say, who would have thought that a conversation about 6-star business would end up talking about broken education system?
That's right. It's the quality of the people that are on the call that get what's required to help create a better future. Yeah. Takes us straight back to our purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing more to say. We didn't really add anything in that outro. Thank you, dear listener, for being with us and kind of just sense of just being.
That's it. Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Well, you go and have an awesome day. I'll go and have an awesome night's sleep.
Okay. See you soon.
Yeah. And dear listener, just to finish off, we alluded to it in the episode. We're at community.6starbusiness.com. Get on the waiting list because when we open up next time, we'd love to have the chance of getting to know you and like you and trust you and connect with you and learn with you and from you and experience the transformation that's going on inside that community with you.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's good night from me.
And it's goodbye from me.